You're tuned in to NonFiction Radio, New Jersey's #1 online radio station. Listen live at nonfictionradio.com or download the NonFiction Radio app on your phone or Android device.
Everybody, it's Friday. I'm late, pardon me. It's the Boss Lady Chronicles radio show. So welcome to the show. I guess it's my co-host. She's on her way. She's in traffic. So I guess everybody's a little off today. You know, we sometimes we gotta just take it as it comes. You know what I mean? We're here. That's the important thing. Thank God we're here. We made it today, and we in here. So at the moment, I have two stories that I wanted to talk about today. Marlene is with me.
Hey, I'm in the building.
Let's get it popping.
Let's go.
So Sky from Black Ink Crew let her children go up for adoption. She had them when she was 14, I guess maybe 14 and 15. I know the first one she had when she was 14, which I didn't know that, because that changed a little bit of my outlook on the story. But she hasn't seen them in 15 or 17 years. I believe 17 years she hasn't seen them. And she finally wanted to go and meet with them. There's two. One is Genesis. I don't know the other one's name. Sorry. I guess I haven't done my research either. But she went to see her sons, and her oldest son basically blacked out on her as she was trying to tell him that the reason why she hasn't been, in touch with him, because her life wasn't what it really is now. Before the TV thing started, she was working at Macy's, and she just didn't have the money. I guess she's trying to say she wasn't in the right place, and that's what he basically said. Bullshit. Threw everything off the table, went at her, and the security came. And I have so many mixed feelings about this story, because I always start with the children first, because children are my heart. I'm like the lady in the shoe. Everybody's at my house or downstairs. My son, who's older, or his friends, trying to find a way, find a couch, find somewhere to stay in my house. So I have a thing for children, and looking at it from the outside in, I would say, I feel sorry for her, but I feel the children, whether they grew up, the goal was for her to have her children grow up in a healthy, well provided environment, and that's what a mother's supposed to be able to provide. And if she can't, she has to make a decision whether, for one, whether you're gonna keep the child, whether you're gonna have an abortion. If you go on to decide to keep the child, and you realize along the way that you don't think you're going to be able to do the best job, your option is adoption. So she didn't even give her child up for adoption, which is another thing I didn't even know. Actually, she got in trouble and went to jail, and her mother, who has mental issues, gave the children up while she was away. So can you hold her accountable for that? I mean, can you say, well, she really didn't give the children up for adoption, her mom did? Was she in a position that she should have been able to make a decision? I don't know if she could make that decision from behind bars. I mean, somebody has to be legally having custody of your children, even if it's temporary. A guardian, basically. So, my thing is, I understand maybe the adoption, but I don't understand the amount of time, because it was an open adoption. So whereas you are trying to explain to your son why you haven't been there in this amount of time, and he's telling you that's bullshit, because regardless to what, and a lot of fathers need to understand this too, is that it's not just the financial aspect of raising a child that is so important. It is being around that child. They don't care what you have, even though all day they like, mommy, can I have this? Mommy, can I have that? I mean, but they don't care. They want you. They want your physical. They want your love, your hugs, your kisses, your wiping their tears away. I mean, at the least, that's what kids want. So, you know, I just feel like whatever situation she was in at the time, right? She also needed to consider her children first. Right. So now with those of you who just joined us on Facebook Live, we're talking about Sky's situation, adopting off her children and now trying to reconnect with them. So, okay. You're not doing good. You put your children up for adoption, or your mother lets someone take them. You get out of jail. The very first thing, if it's an open adoption, that I would think that you would do is go see about your children. Because you may not still be in a position to take them, but seeing a mother once a year is better than not seeing a mother 15 years. Seeing a mother once a month is better than not seeing a mother every day. And children with time, it's really funny with them. They don't realize how long the time has been. You know, they can see you last week and they'll say, you know, they think it's yesterday. So it's the matter of the meaningfulness of the visit. It's you know, you can see them in January and then see them again in April, and that from January they'll be remembering, they'll be thinking about it. But now you didn't give your children the opportunity to have remembrance of anything of you, and then they see you on television. I'd be sitting at like, oh really? So you can go sit in front of cameras, but you can't sit in front of me. And I know that it's hard to face your child when you've done something. You know, it's hard to look them in the eye and have a reason why you weren't the most perfect thing, because to them, you are the ultimate of everything. So how do you explain to a child that, no, I didn't have the money to take care of you, but I still didn't come to see you? So I kind of understand his anger there. You know. Marlene, you got the mic. You got the mic.
I don't know. I think it's kind of different. Now it's different. 25, 30 years ago, adoption was very easy. The buildings that were available that did that, those buildings are no longer here. I had an open adoption, and when my daughter turned 10, she found me, and I left all my information for her to contact me and her father. We took a picture, and she found us, and we've been reunited ever since. She's actually living with me right now.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, it is.
That's a beautiful thing, as you say. I coined it. That is her phrase. I get that from Marlene. So, okay, so your child at 10 came and found you and had no animosity whatsoever towards you.
That's what I was worried about, because I had another daughter, Shanice, after that, and I kept Shanice. But Kara was at a point where she just wanted to know. She knew she was different from the family that she was being raised by the pastor and his wife. She just wanted to know, you know, where she comes from.
Right.
You know, and I had remarried and, you know, had another family, and she found me, and it's just been a blessing ever since.
No issues. No issues at all.
No resentment. No. You know, why this? Why'd you didn't know?
From the time of 10, though, when did you see her again? Did you not see her for years after that?
I didn't see her years before that.
Right.
You know, I mean, once they took her out of the hospital, you know, there was no longer any contact. And back then, you know, 28 years ago, adoption, again, was totally different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I left a letter, and I explained, and I left it so when she was interested in finding me, she knew where to go, and I left my mother's phone number, and she called my mother one day.
That's nice. That's I mean, that's good. So now we have a situation where these are young men, though, that have had to become grown men without their mother's face at all when it was an open adoption. So she was able to do it, and I know that she probably felt uncomfortable. She felt like she wasn't good enough. She didn't know if she could even explain anything to them. But at the end of the day, we have to be the bigger people when it comes to having children. We have to put our, because in a way you can say that's just selfish, that you were worried about more so how you would feel of him being mad at you than how he would feel to be able to sit in front of you and have that opportunity. So, of course he's going to be angry, and being on TV is not making it look any better. If you've been on TV for 3 years now, at least.
And a lot of kids,
and you still haven't seen them yet. So how is it that you expect him to receive you? You've been shopping, you've been everywhere around the world, and you haven't seen your son. So, I feel for Sky. I think, of course, before we even knew that her mother was bipolar, we thought she might have had a little tick or something. You know what I mean? She's definitely made for TV. She's a character, but you can see, all the things that she's been going through. And then, look at it. If her children were in her custody, what kind of life would they have? So we have to give credit to that for the parent. We do.
I'll tell you something. That is a serious decision. It is not a decision that you take lightly. It's a decision where you need to get all your senses. You need all your bullets in a row to make the proper decision. Because it's not about me or whoever's going to do what they're supposed to do. Because at that time, I could not do. And that took me a minute,
So how did you go through daily? How was it daily? Did you think about that child and what could they be doing? Or do you have to kind of just bury it for now? Yeah, you have to do that.
Yeah, I did.
But see, then when you detach yourself, you are seen as non-caring about it, like going on with your life. And I don't mean you in particular. I'm just saying that is how the mother that gives their child up is viewed, because it's like, I can't fathom that, but I wasn't in that position to give you that credit. Right. I wasn't in that position. So.
And you have to think about the child, if you're in a state of mind and you're trying to have a child and you can't even keep yourself together. Let's be realistic about the game. If it's not about you, it's about the child. And at that time, I felt that was the best decision for her, so she could be raised in a proper fashion.
Okay. The problem with that, of course, is what if they're not raised in the proper fashion? Because we've heard a lot of stories about foster children and adopted children, and they had horrible. Yes,
she was blessed. She was raised by the pastor and his wife. She praised Dan. She went to church. She was all involved. They raised a very responsible young lady. They really did. And I'm proud of her.
Knowing you as a person and knowing you for so long, I know that, we've all, myself included, been down in our life. And some of us were able to be down without getting pregnant and bringing a child into the world at the wrong time. So we can't judge. You know what I mean? Right. Because if you are not in that particular situation, you can't say what you would do. You know what I mean? A lot of women go on to kill their children. So, you know what I mean? So, it's such a wide range of emotions that's going on. Yeah, because you have some
kids that are angry, resentful, and if you have other children, they're like, yo, that's messed up. Why you kept them two and you couldn't keep me? Like, I don't get it. And I thought that's how my daughter Carol was going to come back, but she didn't. She didn't come back like that at all. Like, we surprised her at Glen Point. Her father was giving a testimony. They have their church. And when she came out, she just knew. She just ran to me and just held on, and I just kept rubbing her back. It's okay, because she knew she was different from the people that were raising her. You know what I'm saying? So there was that piece. Okay. So within her, yeah, she was like, I'm not like them.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? She has Russell and she has me, and that's a lethal combination.
Well, thank God she turned out normal.
Yes, she did.
So, I mean, you know, again, it's so many vantage points of a story like this. It depends on who you're talking to. If you're talking to the child and they were treated properly, see, that's another thing. God blessed you in that your child was raised to the point that she doesn't have to have animosity because you didn't leave her to the wolves.
And she's self-sufficient.
You know what I mean? So then you have a child who may, you know, have been in a very, very neglectful, abusive, foster or adoptive home, and of course they're gonna be mad about that. Yes. So you gave me a better life. Oh, thank you. You know what I mean? Because these are scars that your parent is supposed to protect you from. You know, and people, I mean, then you got to talk about, you know, the people who take the children in.
Are not together. They are not together mentally.
Well, no, I mean, if they're in a situation, some people are doing it for financial gain, you know, but a person that maybe cannot. It's just so weird how some people should have children, and some people shouldn't, and unfortunately, some people that shouldn't have them, multiple, and people that want them so bad can't have them. You know, and then, but there's those people that say, oh, if it was me, that's not mine, that's not my blood, that's not my issue, that's not my, you know, there are blood relatives that won't take their family's children because it's not their problem, it's not their issue. And I have a note for those of you who feel like, you know, if it's not your blood, it's not your issue. It becomes your issue when the children outside who aren't your blood affect your blood. It becomes an issue when you as a person need help for your blood and somebody else doesn't want to give it. And that could be in the sense of a donor. You never know. So, you know, this world is not, we don't all live in our own little worlds. We're not traveling in bubbles. No. You know, and it just burns me up for people that really separate children between biological and not biological. Right. Because these are all children that are going to affect all of us, whether they're blood or not, based on how we bring them up in this world.
And that's where you make these difficult decisions. You know, as you become 15 and 16 years old and you're in school and you're trying to understand, you know, life.
Right.
You know,
I had my finger on the mic. I think that's what it was. Thanks, Lee. Say that again, Marlene. Oh, okay.
It's hard. It was life, you know, and especially when you know that you're different.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that plays
I think, you know, we gotta understand that in this world, even though something that we've done that we got over might come back in a way of responsibility in another way. Okay, you didn't do this properly. Now you have a task. You know what I mean? You have a responsibility. So we don't want to deal with the other issues that other people have until they become our own issues. And the world just doesn't work like that. That's why there's so many problems today, because nobody wants to get in there and work, you know, together to solve the issues that we all have. We all have them.
And you can't make up for past time. You know what I mean? That time is dead. You know what I'm saying? You have to go from where you're at now. Like right now, both of my daughters needed a place to stay. One moved in, one got an apartment, one moved out, another one moved in. I'm just glad today in my life that I'm in a position where I could help them. There was times where I couldn't do nothing for my girls. You know, so this is like a beautiful thing.
Well, that's a good thing to know, that it's never too late.
Right.
You know, because they're going to be our kids forever. Yeah. So it doesn't matter when they turn 18, it's not over. So you've had the opportunity basically to get back some of the time you lost and keep going. And honestly, kids are less, I mean, we're children less time in our lives than we are adults. So you know, she's an adult now, but the relationship is there. So good. And that's a blessing. And I'm happy for you. What a great Christmas story on our Christmas show.